Okay, so hello everybody. I just realised I got my headphones on then. I'm going to do a video on the diary, I think. It's about time I started a new diary. Do you know what? Mine ran out in beginning of March, my last one. And for some reason I hadn't got round to doing another one, which was strange because I've done one, I think for the last, oh my gosh, 4-5 years, maybe 5 years I've done. I have two diaries, well I have three actually, but I have two sizes of diaries in my collection. This is the small size and there's two different insides with the small, two different colourways, okay? And then I have the large one, and the one I use the most is this large. I like this big open space to use, but I actually use the two of them together, so I can't always carry this around with me because this is quite large. So I can't always carry it around, but I usually always have one like this with me. I've started a new one just to show you, and what I do is I actually fill this in pencil as I go along. So I fill this in pencil, and then when I come to do this one, I've already got my snippets marked down because I only do this once a week. I usually do this on a Monday, so on a Monday I do the week before. That's when I normally do it. So, and then I let another week go by, and then I go back and I do a week. But I've already got it written in here, so I know the main things that I want to talk about, really. My one, the one I'm going to do here is different from my personal one because obviously there's some personal things that you don't really need to see. So this doesn't have as much in, but you can do it however you want. But this is how I will start. So I'm going to start here on this first, well, I'm going to start on this page. Now, when you start at the beginning of the book, you can see it's quite hard that if you do any stamping, it's going to wobble. So I usually get a pile of other pages on, and now I've got a nice firm surface to work on. Okay, so let me go back to that page, and then the first thing that I do normally is I decide, do I want to use stickers, do I want to use washi tape, do I want to use stamps? And I think I'm going to use stamps today. So the stamps I'm going to use a selection from, I'm going to use some from the diary stamps. My most popular ones are right on, stick on the front there, that can go in there. So there's two sets in the diary stamps. There are the months, and then there are little bits like this and little borders. So I'm going to use some of those, and then I'm also going to use some of the Dyalog stamps. And this makes me laugh because the number of people who say to me, can you only use the Dyalog stamps in the Dyalog? No, you can use anything in anywhere. So you can see these have got words, but these are the borders. There's some dates, there's numbers, little emoticons. So I'm going to use a selection of those as well. And then I'm also going to use my diary inks. Oh, one's missing. What's missing? Let me think. I can't think what's missing there. But anyway, one's missing. Doesn't matter because I'm going to focus on greens anyway, so I'll use the green. These are in, I tell you, I always pinch everybody else's tins. This is Tim's Mini Distress tin, and it fits my inks in perfectly because I like them in tins for when I'm travelling. This is the archival ink pad tin. These actually would probably, let me have a look. I wonder if these would go in here. Let's see. Oops. Well, let's put them in there. Yeah, these would fit in one of these tins as well, but for some reason I have them in my... oh, I know why I put them in there. I put them in this one because then I can wrap this round. I can wrap it around the small diary, or let me take the pages out first. I can put it this way with the elastic around the large diary as well. So that's why I kept them in there. And then normally I have the blocks. And I've been known to sit on a plane and do this. So I have like these at one side, I have these, and I'll sit and I will prep a diary page whilst I'm in the skies, flying wherever I'm flying. But I'm flying nowhere at the moment, so that's been curtailed, hasn't it? So never mind. Right, so the first thing I need to do is I need to remember that this was March. That was the 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th. Just let me check. 30th, 31st, 1st, 2nd, 3rd. Yes, just to check that I'm on the right thing. So I'm going to use stamps. So I'm going to put a border across the middle. So let's have a look here. I like to split up each day so it's really easy to see. Let's have, I think we'll have the arrows. These are quite new sets. Most of my sets are sort of in my teaching boxes all over the place. So I'm going to put the arrows on and I'm going to show you exactly what I do. So I like to match both sides of the page. My studio's suddenly getting really warm and I'm steaming my glasses up. Sorry about that. I like to match both sides of my page-ish. So I could use, for the ink here, I could use a black, but I'm going to choose a green. And I think I am going to choose the Dirty Martini. That's the one I'm going to do. So a little Dirty Martini there. And then I'm just going to ink up the little stamp. And I'm going to start here. And I'm just going to ink that way, and I'm going to do every other one that way. I've just missed the end of that arrow. There we go. So I'm going to do every other page going this way. I've missed that one again. There must be a gap. There we go. And then I'm going to turn it round. And I'm going to go have the arrows going this way, just for something different. And you could fill your diary in every day if you wanted, but I like to do it once a week. And I never really prep ahead. I never think to myself, right, I'm going to get these other pages done. I usually just leave it like so. And then I'm also going to split up between the Saturday and Sunday. Okay, so now do I want a border right round the edge? I think I might do. So what shall I put right round the edge? I think I might, oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this long one. So you need the longer block for this. Okay. And again, I'm going to use black. I think I'm going to go with black on this one. Now I'm going to use the bigger ink pad just because it's quicker while I'm filming, that's all. Normally I would probably just use mine, but I just want to go a bit speedier. So with this one, let's see, I'm going to go across the top, but I don't want to come right, off the end here. So I am going to put a piece of kitchen roll on there so that when I do this, it hasn't come off the end, okay? And then I'm going to ink down here. I think I just put my finger in the ink pad. There we go. I'll put ink all the way down. And then I'll ink down this side. Okay, and then as I come down the bottom, I'll do the same again. I will, oops, start here. And then at this edge, I don't want to come right to the very end. So, oops. Just go there. A little bit here, so you're just masking it off so that you end up with really nice edges. There we go. Okay, and I'll probably colour in round the edge of that, so I'll just stick that back. ones I use a lot, they're just in the front there. And then let's do the days of the month. So let's see, what, it was the 23rd, wasn't it? So let's have, let's have the days of the month in this circle. Okay, and I think I will do those in black again, but I can use the small one this time. I love that you can see through, so you can see exactly where you're going. Now you might notice I've covered up a lot of the Monday, Tuesday. It doesn't really bother me because you know what, no matter if you cover them up, Tuesday always comes after Monday. Most people know what day of the week it is. Sometimes I don't put every day. Sometimes I'll just stamp in the odd day, depending how much I've got to say and how much room. With being at home at the moment on lockdown, there's not that much that I really have to write in here, so I can go to town and put extra bits. So now I'm going to put the dates in, and I'm going to use the green again. I'll use the green again for the dates. Okay, so we had, I think I'm going to use the medium ones, because if I put the large ones, oh no, the large ones would fit, 27. I'm going to use large. Okay, so the first day was 23, so I'm going to take the 2. I always put everything on here upside down so that when I stamp it, look, it's the right way up. So I'm going to put, that'll be 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. I always say it out loud because you know you usually do something, I usually do something wrong, and then these can just go on one at a time. So 23, I'm just going to put it a little bit lower. 24. You could write yours in, you could do whatever. I mean, these are my numbers, I wrote these, but it's so much quicker. And these stamp sets, because they're clear, are so reasonably priced. They really are. I've just put a whole little set together actually for my daughter-in-law Katie to do with Martha. They're going to do a start a lockdown diary. So I've just got some stickers and the inks and some stamps, and we'll see what that Martha manages to do with it. There we go. So I'm going to put a little bag outside the door and Ben can come down and collect it. I'll wave at him through the letterbox. Okay, so there we go. We've got that. And then the other thing that we really need to know here is this was March. Okay, so I am going, because I'm working backwards, remember, I'm starting a new one for you. So I'm going to find the March. And I think I'll do that in the green as well. And I will pop March over here. There we go. And I can outline that if I want to make it stand out more. Okay, so that's the main thing there. And then I can either just write in here, but what I like to do is I like to section it out really, so that there's different, and I'll use the different blocks and different things like that. So let's, I think I'm going to use this. Okay, and I'm going to do these in black because I'm going to colour them later. So, and if I need to write more information, I can do. It will be fine. So I'm going to come over here. And then I'm going to come over here. Over here. And here. I'm not sure. Oh, missed a bit on the end. Oh, actually, just let me... Oh, no. Let me show. If you miss a bit, say like you don't stamp it all fully, because these are clear, you can see and you can go back and you can stamp it again. Okay, so that's those. And then I think I will also put, let's have a look. I'll have one of those in there as well. Why not? I try to make every single page different to one that's been before. I think I'll leave the bottom ones. Yeah, I think I'll leave the bottom ones open. Or I might have a smaller one. We'll see. I might come back and add something on there if I want to. Okay, so then what I normally do is I normally write everything in. Okay, so then what I normally do is I normally write everything in, and I normally write, let me just put these to one side for now. I normally write with my paint pens, and again I usually pick a colour that matches, so I'm just going to put those out of the way. I'm terrible. I have to tidy everything up before I can go on to another section. There we go. Let's tidy those out of the way. Okay, here we are. Oh, missed an ink pad. I'll put those there. So I normally use the paint pens, and I got a new set out. I think this was a set that I had actually to take somewhere to demo with, and I already had an open set, so I didn't use them. But here are some of my paint pens, but I thought I would start a new one for you. I think that's Dirty Martini. Okay, because I know a lot of you sometimes can't work out how to get these pens started. These have been sat for a while, so it looks as though they've separated. They haven't, it's just a bit of the dye. You don't really need to shake them. If you shake them too much, you'll get blobs everywhere. And I'm just going to use a page in here. Let's come further back. Use a page in here to show you how you do it. Okay, so when you have these pens, you'll notice that the nib on my pen is the finest nib you've ever seen. It's much finer than a nib on a Posca pen, okay? And then this comprises of, there's a tiny nib with some metal, and then there's a big fat nib underneath. And then that fat nib is sitting on a ledge like this. And this paint here has got a lid on it, so nothing can come out. Nothing can come out of here at all. And when you press down the point, this lid tips like that and allows some of the paint to come out, okay? So if you're the type of person who bangs or shakes this, all you're going to do is, the lid is just going to do this, open, shut, open, shut, open, shut, open, shut, and you're going to flood it. So all you have to do is press down on it. As you press down, this lid will open, and then you have to be patient because this paint has got to soak all the way up, all the way up, all the way up, all the way up. It's got to soak all the way up this nib here, okay? So you need to be patient. So you take this and you hold it down and you just wait. Now, what will happen is the paint's starting, I'm not sure if some of you can see, the paint is starting to come up here. So sometimes this can do it straight away. Sometimes I've waited 2 minutes. Well, 2 minutes is only 120 seconds. Can you see where the paint is coming up now? But if you bang it at this point or shake it or anything, you are going to flood the nib. So I just hold it down. Every now and again, I lift it up to see if the paint is there. And you just wait patiently. Just wait and it'll start coming down. Whenever I demo it, it takes ages. Typical, isn't it? If you lot weren't watching now, this would have This would have come out, this would have worked, and it would have come out. But come on, it's almost there. And this is, you know, some pens will work straight away, but because I have got such a fine nib on mine, it just takes that little bit longer. But the longer it takes, there we go, you see? There we go. The longer it takes, the more paint gets into the nib and stays there. Now, because I've let that nib go, this is shut. This is stopped, so no more paint can come out of here, okay? So if you need more paint later, we can alter that. So I'm going to take my book and I'm going to write. So what have I got written for Monday? Oops, the 23rd. I've got Boris did the lockdown. It's all getting serious. Lots of info. Great Yorkshire Show was cancelled. In an isolation ship. I liked that comment. I saw it on Facebook and I really liked it. So here I'm going to put in an isolation ship. Okay, so I'm going to put that there, and I'm just going to make the letters a bit fancier by just adding little dots on the end. Okay, so that's that one. Great Yorkshire Show cancelled. That's really important to me because it's a really big agricultural show that's been going about 125 years, and my dad used to run it. So I'm going to put in here Great Yorkshire Show cancelled. It's a big thing. I think it's only ever been cancelled once before. So Great Yorkshire Show cancelled. And because of that, I'm going to write here, getting really serious now. You can, you know, you can write as little or as much as you want. As I said, this is not too personal, this one here, because this goes round when, you know, when I'm going round everywhere, I take this with me. So there's Monday. So Tuesday we had Otis was back in hospital. He had pneumonia. So I think that's gonna go in this one here. So Otis and an exclamation mark because Otis back in hospital. Pneumonia. There we go. What did I do then? I posted. I was listening to my soul. Whilst knitting doll blankets for Martha and Edith. What else? I've got there knitting doll blankets, listening to my Northern. Oh yeah, made a new playlist. There we go. I'll go back in later and I'll add these in before I show you another picture. Okay, so Wednesday, always put your lid back on when you're pausing because you don't want that to dry up. Wednesday had a really down day. My mental health was not good at all. So I posted a video about it on Facebook. So that's what I'm going to put here. So I'm going to put really down day. Made a mental health video. Facebook. Really missing
grandkids.
So I posted a video about it on Facebook, so that's what I'm going to put here. So I'm going to put really down date. Made a mental health video. Facebook. Really missing the grandkids. And then later that day when I looked, I realised that the video had really helped people. It really helped other people. Okay. Thursday the 26th, I was feeling a lot brighter. I sat in my garden, so I'm going to put there, feeling a lot brighter. Just a switch seemed to flip. Whether it was because I'd shared my video with people, I'm not sure, but it just flipped on and I was like, oh, I feel so much better. So I felt a lot brighter. Sat in garden. It was lovely. It was really sunny, and the sun always makes you feel happier, doesn't it? By the way, I don't really need to write, it was really sunny and the sun always feels happier. When you come back and look, these things pop in your mind. Feeling a lot brighter, sat in garden, and I will remember I was sat in my swinging chair. I felt a lot better. Boo was with me. It's amazing. You just need these little points to really make you come alive and remember things. So decided to start Tip Studio. Spent all day reorganising. And as well, can you see, if I get to the end of a word and I can't fit it on, I just go down to the next page. So that was that. Friday, I still was in the studio, so I still kept going. It was all spick and span. I did a video tour of it, and at night I was doing my EPP. So here, this was spent evening doing my the Tula Pink English paper piece project. I'm going to put a little heart in there. So during the day, I've put video tour of studio. Spent all day in studio. I FaceTimed all the babies here. Okay, so that was that. Then Saturday was Edith's birthday, okay, so that's going in big letters. Now I'm just going to push this down here so I've got something to rest on, because it's really hard to do it just on a little bit. So that's all I'm going to put on here. Edith. Okay, birthday. Yeah, and then Sunday, prepped video announcement. No, prepped. Okay, so on Sunday, I was working on classes and prepping for day by day announcement. That's when I decided that I was going to do this class. Okay, and then these, because these are bigger letters and I want this to be more prominent, I am actually going to colour those in. So where it says Edith, there. I can always go around it with the black pen if I want it to stand out more, but I usually decide that later. This is all I colour with these pens. I don't colour big images. I don't do colouring in, you know, my colour sheets or anything like that. I use them for writing, and then sometimes I colour in the writing. I also use them on top of collage work as well. Now that just stopped working yet, so probably because I was talking. If you just wet your finger like so, you'll take off a skin that's joined on the finger. There we go. And it will start working again. And sometimes you've used up all the paint that is on there, so you have to press it down again very gently and allow some more paint to come through. But that's when people go, oh, I think it stopped working, and they start banging it, etc. So I'm just going to add this in here. And I could have used stamps to do this, whatever, it doesn't really matter. I like to make it quite decorative, but remember, this is for you. This is your diary. This is going to be handed down through your family. My lot love to look in the diaries and see. And, you know, when we had the war on, or the Great Depression, or anything like that, I'd have loved to have known what was going on with my relatives. So this is your chance to, you know, we're making history now having this. The whole world is going through a similar thing at different times, you know, but at one point a lot of the world was in lockdown. That's massive. They're going to talk about this for a long time. So wouldn't it be cool that if in the future people knew how you felt, where you're locked down at home, where, you know, your thoughts and things like that. Okay, so there, I've coloured that in there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to colour in some of this, because I feel I want it to have a bit more colour. And I think I'm going to go around the outside first. And with the outside, I am going to use Dirty Martini. Is that Dirty Martini, or is that... That looks like Dirty Martini. And I'm just going to colour in here, and because I used a waterproof pen, ink, you can colour. So I should have mentioned that earlier. I always use I just presume everybody does, to be quite honest. So I always use a waterproof ink, and then this just adds a bit of colour, and to me it ties the two pages together. I don't always do a border, but I have on this one. And again, feel, you know, I won't be offended. Feel free to speed this bit up if you want. Won't be offended. Feel free to speed this bit up if you want. I don't have any nice jazzy music I can put on for you, unfortunately. Can you see how it's much easier if you have something to lean on here when you're down at the bottom, so that your hand is the same height as what you're working on? It's very windy outside today. One of my flamingos has gone for a Burton. I can see it, the poor thing. Mr. Boo's having a duvet day. He's gone in. He's like, if you think I'm staying out there, you've got another thing coming, mother. So let's just... You don't realise sometimes how long things take until you have to do them on a video and fill in with the small talk. But as I say, this is usually my Monday morning, and I wasn't joking earlier when I said I do this on planes, because usually on a Monday, I'm usually flying, and this is great for my mental health, to just sit down and just to recap on the different things that I've done. By the way, I do get bumped, well, I do get bumped a lot on the aeroplane, so I'm not sort of squeezed into the middle seat in economy trying to do this. Not sure what's going to happen this year, actually, because none of us are going to make our status on the aeroplane, so we might all get bumped back down again. Oh no. I tell you what, that little bit of luxury, just, oh my gosh, when you fly like we do, Dina and I, we do between, I don't know, I think she does a little bit more than me now actually, about 150,000 miles a year. And so whatever perks you can get is gratefully received. But this year, I'm not sure if we're going to make it. Okay, there we are. So I've done the border, and then I want a little bit more, so I'm going to go around these. When I designed these, I left these quite open for colouring, so I'm going to take the green and I'm going to colour in, but I'm only going to colour the large ones. I'm going to use a different colour. I might use the grey, I might use slate grey for the smaller ones. But you see, by actually putting these blocks on, it shortens what you have to write, because a lot of people are really worried. What do I have to write? Just write anything. Just write like what I've been talking. It's really windy out today, or Mr. Boo's gone to bed. You know, you can just write anything. Just jot down some little things. If you have Facebook or that, go back, look what were you posting on Facebook that day. Was there a quote that you really liked? Use that. So bring this right round here. Oops, no worries. And a bit of a blob. This one at the bottom, I just offset it slightly so it looks as though you're a little bit drunk. Go home, block, you're drunk. Okay, that will do. And then I was going to get the grey, wasn't I? Now, which one was the grey in? Slate grey, there we go. So I am going to colour in these with slate grey, because there's grey on this page. I'm very matchy when I'm doing these. Can you just do what you want? Of course you can. You can do anything at all, but this is what I normally would do. And as I say, I try to make it my a thing that I do every single page differently. So now what I'm going to do is, if I've got green this side, I'm going to put grey around the edge of this. So that one's grey, that one's grey, that one's grey. That one's grey. And then I could leave it like that, but I might as well do a little bit more. And I'm going to find the mushy peas. There's mushy peas. And I'm going to colour in some of these. If I've done them in grey, I'm going to colour it in mushy peas. And again, I can go straight over the top. So I'm going to do... So I've done that one, so I've missed one, so I've done this one. So here, I've left that one, so I'm going to do this one. And then I'm going to do this one. And then this one. Just have fun, just do whatever you want. Remember this, the diaries have my fabulous mixed media paper in, so they, you know, they're not, you can see that they're not buckling or anything like that. You might like it cleaner, you might have preferred it before the ink, but I like a lot of colour, as quite a lot of you know. Okay, and then I think I'll put, again, I could leave it like that, or I could put grey in these. You do as much or as little as you want. With me, it's always as much. No white space. Actually, in the diary there is white space because there's the sides. There's the in-betweeny bits. But can you see how cool this looks? And as it dries, this writing will be more prominent. You'll be able to see it more. Again, if you haven't got Tim's water brushes, just spritz a little bit on your mat. I said this in the day by day project, and some people didn't listen when I said spritz, and they were just dipping in and out of the bottles, and it always falls over, and it always goes everywhere. So, you know, trust me when I say just spritz a little bit on your mat. You will thank me for it later. Okay, so what have I missed? Oh, this one. Sorry, I'm just going to give it a squeeze. If it's not coming out, there we go. Just give it a little bit of a squeeze. Okay, and then I need to put, let's find the dark green. Where's the very dark? The very dark green, hang on. Where are you? I'll use polished jade, that'll be fine. Oh, is that it? No, I'll go, no, I don't like that. I'll just go round with the, just the Dirty Martini then. Just on those few that were grey. Okay, and then I want to make March more prominent, so I'm just going to doodle round and I'm just going to outline it. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. There we go. I might go around the letters as well. The numbers, sorry. Let's just make them a little... I don't know when to stop, do I? Right, I'm just going to do the numbers and that's it. Okay, so, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear up my table, and then I'll do another video for the other side. Do I always do the 2 pages at the same time? No. Sometimes I'll just be in the mood to do that side, sometimes, you know, so, but for the purpose of this, I'll do the 2 together. Okay, now this looks a bit blank down here, doesn't it? So I am going to just colour in the inside of the letters with grey, so that's got a bit of colour as well. And the only thing I need to do on that when the ink is dry is I need to go through and put the little dots on everything. Okay, so there you go, there's that page. Okay, so there is that side finished, so I'm going to work on this side. And excuse me, today what I want to use is I want to use my collage. So So I have a couple of different collage boxes. These are the ones I travel with actually. So I always have large in one and I have small in another. And the collage sheets come like this. You get 16 sheets this size, and then you get all these designs shrunk to this size as well, okay? Now I know I want to use this one, which is why I got this actual sheet out, because I'm not sure if it's in that box or whether I've already used it. So I'm just going to cut that out and pop that to one side, okay? I haven't decided if I wanted a border yet, so I'm going to pop that there. So let me just, what I normally do is, I'll just move this book 1 minute. I normally just get them out like this and I just have a look through. There's two different, because this is my travelling set, there's lots in here. There's two different sizes, so I could be here forever. So I might, yeah, I might just cut that one out that I already had. Just have one more quick. Oh, a bit more of a border there. No, I can't see it straight away, so I'll use this one. And when I'm cutting out images, I cut as near to the line as I can. When I'm cutting out my stamping images, I'm never bothered and I leave like a little border around. But when I'm doing collage images, I like to get as near to the border as I can. People ask all the time, you know, what scissors do you use? To me, you can't beat Tim Holtz scissors. I have all three sizes, and I have his little dressmaker sewing scissors as well. What I love about them is they're so comfortable. They have this really squishy handle, and they're just so lovely to use. He changed colours. They used to be all red, and now he's got black ones, but they're brilliant. One thing some people quite often say about his scissors is they don't like it because there's a serrated edge, but there's only a serrated edge on one blade. So if you don't like the serration, you just turn the scissors over and you won't get that. So there you go. So I'm going to use this head because I thought with the COVID-19 this was perfect. So now I just need a body to go with it. That one would work. I'll just pop it there out of the way. I just don't know what mood I'm in. And this is what I do. Normally I would, as I say, I have less in a box, but because this is my travelling box, there is so much in here. This is how much you get in 2 sets of where are all the bodies? I can't see the bodies. I can just see lots and lots of heads and lots of bodies in here. I always use these as bodies as well, actually. Do you know what? I might use one of that. I might have that as a body. Yeah. So now I think I want a wing. It might have been easier to just do the pages for you, but I wanted you to see, this is what I normally do. Let's do it this way. Let's go like this. And we'll see if we can find what I want as a wing. Oh, I might want some legs. I'll put some of those legs out as well. Oh, there, look. You see? They're in there somewhere cut out. Let's see if I can find something to use. Oh, that could be a wing. Let's pop that there. And then let's look through the rest and see. Normally I don't just do one page. I normally go through and do lots and lots. Oh, I'll have that one as well. I do lots of pages at once. So I just pick up whatever I see. That one. So I'm just going to put these to one side. My box is a little bit full. Let's put them to one side and then we'll have a look. Okay, so where did I put the lids? There we go. I still haven't decided whether I'm doing a border or not, so I'm just going to put those to one side. side, and I shall bring my book back up. There we go. So I am going to have that as a body. That is going to be, now do I want some legs? I'm not, oh, maybe, I quite like, maybe, and then I want a wing, so something like that. Let's have a look. Try it again down here. I'm just not sure if I actually want, there we go. Maybe we could have that, or was it that one? Maybe that one. And this is what I do, I just sort of play. Yeah, I don't need those legs. I quite like the look of that. Let's move it over here a little bit. Let's have this strange one looking. Yeah, there we go. And I think I will do a border. I think I would like a border on there. So what I'm going to do for a border is I am going to take some of these pages and I am going to just cut some strips. I'm just going to move that to one side and get out my trimmer, my trusty trimmer, and first of all I'm going to straighten it up because I will have done this, yeah, on the road and it will be not straight. I'll save that bit. Okay, so I want this to sort of match round, so I think I'm going to do a border of 1.5 centimetres. Yeah, 1.5 centimetres all the way around, and I'll probably need 5 of these. 1.5 centimetres. Go. I'll put that to one side in case I need a little bit more, but I have got 5 of these, so I want them to fit. One will go there, 2 down there, 1 across the bottom, and that other one will patch up. Brilliant, brilliant. So I'm just going to slide those over to that side so I remember what I did with it, and then so I'm just going to slide those over to that side so I remember what I did with it. And then I'm going to start with these, okay? And I'm going to use my glue stick. And I'm just going to glue down these borders. And I haven't bothered cutting the white off because it will get covered at some point. There we go. I'm going to put the next one, line it up next to where your glue was. Don't sit it in your glue. I must have been drawing something on the back of this. Can you see? So with this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to overlap over that white, and now I'm going to have the white going over the end so that when I press down you get that nice corner. I'll do one more before I clean my mat. I have to have my mat clean. I don't like lots of glue over it. So again, I'm going to do another one. Let's do the red one actually. Oh no, that's the same as that way. Let's have it this way. And we'll just overlap that white. So you see there was no need to trim it before. And then a piece of dry kitchen roll. Sorry, camera's going to shake like mad now. Just, some people like to glue onto a magazine and they just get rid of the pages. But I just do it on my non-stick craft sheet. I love this. Oh, my things have moved. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim off this edge. Actually, I want to go along the bottom first. Let me just peel that back. Diane, what are you doing? Go across the bottom. There we are. bottom. Now then, add a bit more glue to this. And peel so it comes straight off there. Give that a trim. La 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 la. And then glue that one there. Fabulous. So 5 strips normally does your whole page, okay? And you can always take a little brayer and you can just brayer the edges down in case if you think it's going to come up. Let me just wipe off this glue again. The nice thing about my glue stick is, can you see it just beads up and just disappears from here. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the page over and I'm going to trim anything that's overhanging. Okay, so just trim that one, trim this one. I always have it overhanging and then trim. It's much easier than trying to get it the right size to start with. Okay, there we go. So there's my border. And then I'm going to pull this back over and I'm going to have this one actually sat on this bottom border. Move it a bit further over. Maybe that way. Yeah, that's how I'm going to have it. So when you glue in images like this, you have to glue whatever's underneath first. So this is underneath this. So I have to take this and I glue this one first. I'll leave this in position and then I just slide it, oops, back under where I want it to be. And then I'm going to take this one out. I'm going to do the same to that one. Just to make little wings, there we go. Then I'm going to glue the main body down. And I think this image is perfect for the time we are in at the moment. Let's just get that. This with the little mask on. I used it on the day-to-day challenge page as well. Okay, let's tip the head a little bit and then let's have this strange one. And when you're doing collage, the only stipulation is that you like it. It doesn't matter if anybody else likes it or not. It's whether you like it. A bit nearer. That's all that matters. Do you like it? Now I also pulled out a hat. I think I'll have it on this one. There we go. Let's use this as a hat. So we're all glued. Okay. Now normally I would then glue another one and another one and another one and another one. I very rarely do a whole page like you're going to see me do. Very, very rarely do that at all. But I will for you. But I just need to make sure that this is dried and glued. So what I normally do is I normally take a piece of kitchen roll and I place it over the top and I brayer this down. Make sure it's really brayered down. The reason I use kitchen roll is I don't want to catch anything. I don't want to get any glue on there. If I roll like that and pick up a bit of glue, I'm going to get it everywhere. So I just use a piece of kitchen roll and brayer all over, okay? Just check that everything is down. And now, this is what I always do. I take, let me just put my scissors and my brayer away. So I take my a black pen and I normally go right round the border to make it into one. So, and you can be neat, I'm not. So I just draw a line right round the border like so. So that instead of being 5 separate bits of paper, by just drawing that line, you've united it into one border, okay? And then I draw around every single image. And that, instead of it being just stuck on the page, this will ground it. It will give it a little bit of shadow, which will make it look as though it belongs on that page, okay? So I'm just going to go around with that. I'm not sure if you can pick that up, how it looks as though it's meant to be there now rather than just a cut out piece just on the top. Go around this one. And you can go in and you can alter any of these images as well. The paper is made so that you can draw on it with a paint pen, and you can alter them. You could outline these squares in here. You could add extra, you know, you could add extra things to it. I'll just make that stand out a bit more. I mean, obviously these are all altered because they're all from my actual art journals, but you can go in and you could just add a bit more definition to them and add some more in there. So another thing that I quite often will do is I will just go and add something around here again to really make it a border. So actually, I usually do it freehand, but you could take, for example, this is the Stitching Time stencil, and you could draw it. So you could use, you know, some people are not sure about doodling, so we could take the actual stencil and again, this is what I'm doing when I'm on a plane, because obviously on a plane I can't have black paint. They wouldn't like it. This pen is a bit juicy, so I just have to be careful lifting the stencil up that it doesn't smudge. And when I've got to the bottom, it's not quite going to fit, so I'm just going to make it a bit smaller there, which is absolutely fine to do. And then I'll come down this side. And you could colour this in solid. I think I'm just going to doodle it. But you could colour this in solid if you wanted to. See how easy that is? Easy when you know how, isn't it? There we go. So I'll just pop that back there. And like I say, you could colour it in solid, but I think I'm just going to put a scribble in everyone. And again, that just turns that border into a frame. I love to frame things. I just think to myself, you wouldn't put a painting on a wall without framing it, really. So, you know, frame your own artwork as well. And it's not really taken me long, hasn't this? It's just a nice activity once a week. Sit down, go over your, you know, go over what you did last week, go over your life. If you haven't done anything exciting, make it up. Make up something really, really exciting and put it in. Does it matter? No. There we go. So I've got that there. I'm not going to alter anything on here because I actually think that's absolutely fine. But if you wanted to alter something, you could. The next thing that I probably do is my doodling. I have to doodle everything. So I would go in, and where these circles are, I would very loosely just pick them up, because that's me. This pen, let me see, I've got another. I've got a deep. Oh, hang on. Let me look in my many drawers. What's in here? Oh no, that's a 5. I like I'll use a 5, but I usually don't use a number 5 for doing this. So I'll just have to do it lightly. Usually I think they're a bit too thick, but this is running out actually, so it's perfect. So you just, and look how messy I am. I like it like that. I like it to be really, really loose. There we go. And then, I think because I've done a lot of writing over here, I am just going to put one of my quotes on here. What have I got? I think I want, do you want a black coat? Do you want a white coat? I think I'll go for a white one. Chaos, panic, disorder, my work here is done. That is perfect for that. I'm going to put this one. So what you do with these is you peel off and you just cut wherever it is you want it. So chaos, panic, disorder, my work is done. So that's what I need. Chaos, panic, disorder. I'm going to have it coming down here. So I'm going to cut it up. So I'm going to have chaos, panic, disorder, and then I'll have my work. My work here. Ooh, it's not going to fit. Is let's do it like that. My work here is done. Just move it up a tiny bit. Okay, and then I'm going to take a black pen and I am just going to outline them, make them stand out a bit more. Okay, there we go. So that is my diary for the 23rd to the 29th of March. Can't wait to see yours. Post them on the Dyalog page, the Diary and Dyalog page on Facebook, and enjoy.